Hey guys, we're back in the workshop and today I have a cool project for you because we are building a knife for a Swedish military member. A ring knife built out of 80CRV2. So right here I've got the design, really cool design that we came up together with, so let's cut it out. The hole is now done and I've also cut some pieces off with the bandsaw. So now I have to jump to my grinding room and finish up the profile. Now that the knife is profiled, I can now go back into my grinding room to start working on these bevels. So the first step of grinding this knife is going to be grinding in the false edge or a swedge. So this portion of the knife won't be sharp, it's just a false edge. And I'm turning around my grinder to the horizontal mode, and I've added a work rest with a slight angle and a flat platen, and then you can grind it in really easily. And when I'm done with the false edge, I can start working on the main bevel, and this 45-degree angle is really rough on your belt, and that's why I'm using a little bit older belt to break in that corner, and after that I can change it to a fresher belt. Now that I have ground the knife for the preheat treatment grind and I've pinned it down after the heat treatment because I don't want that the knife is going to warp during the heat treatment. And as you can hear, the oven is also ready. V2 is hardened in oil, and after that I'm putting it into liquid nitrogen. You have to put it into liquid nitrogen. No, does it anything good? A little bit, it just refines a little bit of the grain, and if I have it I can stick it in and it looks also quite cool. Now that the knife is hardened and heat treated, I will now go to my grinding room back again and finish up the grind on this knife. For finishing up my bevels, I'm always using fresh belts because I don't want to ruin the temper of this knife, because then I have to redo the whole knife and you don't want to have that to happen. That's why I'm always cooling it down after each path, and I'm always having my fingers on the knife, on the bevel, because I don't want to ruin the temper on the knife. And now I'm using a Trizec belt. They're a little bit higher in the grit size, but they always grind really cool because they have little segments in the belt which gives the knife a little bit of cooling, and you get a really nice finish in the end. Now that the knife is finished ground and thinned down, I can now start working on the handles. I've already got it in my clamp, so I can now start drilling out the holes for the screws. And these knives that are built for military members are always a kind of special project for me, because I know that they are trusting my knife and they're coming to me to trust their life, in quotes. So that is really cool, and it's always fills up my heart with pride that they're coming to me and requesting a knife because they want to have that knife, they trust that knife, they trust the product, and that always makes me super happy. The handle scales are now done, and I've also sandblasted the handle scales and the knife, so now I can apply the finish to it. The knife is now completed, but he has to carry the knife around while he's on duty, so I have to make him a Kydex sheath. And what I'm doing now is I'm cutting out some cardboard to put it behind the thumb rest, because I have to give the Kydex a little bit of relief area so the Kydex doesn't fall around that corner and then you cannot get the knife out of the sheath, and that's why I'm just using some cardboard to give it some relief. Alright guys, so the knife is done and I'm pretty happy with the knife, and I've already attached it to my plate carrier just to show how you could carry a knife like that. And therefore the ring is also really neat because you have a secure grip while you're pulling out the knife, and you don't drop it, and you can push really hard on it, but also you can make the sheath tight enough so the knife doesn't fly out when you're jumping and doing all that kind of stuff. And therefore most of the times the ring is really useful. And the customer also requested to make the ring a little bit bigger this time, because normally I make them 25 millimeters, but this time I made it 29 millimeters because in Sweden the temperatures are most of the times a little bit colder, and he said when he is using gloves he wanted to have a little bit bigger ring so he can grab into that knife even though he has thick gloves on. Alright guys, this is it for this video. If you like that video, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and if you want to see more content like that, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see us next Friday.